So that woman that ICE murdered today was a lesbian. Renee Good, was a lesbian.
So there was a lot said in that video. I definitely recommend going to go watch it first before watching that.
So that woman that ICE murdered today was a lesbian. Renee Good, was a lesbian. And the reason that this matters is because, number one, her wife was in the car with her when it happened. Number two, shortly after, her wife gave a distraught interview to a reporter in which she mentioned, we have a 6-year-old who's in school right now. Like, I have to go pick our 6-year-old up from school. After this, the child's grandfather gave an interview to the news. This would either have been Renee's father or the father of that child's biological father. It's unclear from the context clues. That child's grandfather gave an interview to the news in which he said, I'm going to have to fly to Minneapolis to pick up my grandchild who has nobody left. There's nobody left for them. That child's other mother is still there. She's still there. That child was in a stable, loving, married, 2-parent home, and the second parent is still there. That child's grandfather is now clearly intent on trying to rip this child away from their remaining mother after they lost their other mother today. This is why it matters that Renee Good was a lesbian. Because if she hadn't been, this situation would not be happening. This is the exact situation that I, by the way, have been talking about for the past 2 years, telling people if Donald Trump is elected, I am going to lose my rights. They say, what rights? What rights are you talking about? What rights have you lost? What rights are in danger of yours? The right not to have your child taken when your spouse is murdered by the government. Do not let this part of the story get swept under the rug, okay? That's what they want. Don't let it get swept under the rug. This is an additional atrocity happening after, again, the murder of a United States citizen by the United States government. And now they're going to try to take her child. Do not let this part of the story die. Talk about it. Be loud about it. It matters. It matters that Renee Good was a lesbian. It matters that her child's grandfather is now trying to take that child away from their home. It matters not only to that family, but it matters, I guarantee you, to people that you know and love, even if you don't know that it matters to them. We look around and we say, this could be us. This could happen to me. So don't let this part get swept under the rug.
Yes, because there's a lot of nuance here that I want to talk about, and I don't think this woman is necessarily wrong on the face of it. I do think that as someone who has grown up in, a non-traditional family structure, i.e. divorced parents, remarried on both sides, things like that, it takes a village, whatever. There are multiple aspects at play here that I don't think this woman's considering. And again, all of these, her read on it could be completely right, just, but there's a couple aspects I want to talk about. The first thing is yes, the woman that ICE murdered was a lesbian, and the only people I see really talking about it are Fox News in a derogatory sense, and that's not okay. And the thing I want to reiterate when it comes to remarried parents and things of that nature is this 6-year-old kid lost his dad and now has lost his biological mom. Now, whether or not he calls his stepmom like his other mom we don't know that. So here's what I mean, right? Sometimes step-parents sometimes when your mother or your father remarries, you either get a step-parent or that person's just your mom or dad's spouse. There's levels to this, right? Like there's levels to like you could have my stepfather, who is my father. He raised me basically and loves me like his own. Like I drove his fucking car into a ditch the other day because I was sick as shit and I needed food, and I just got distracted for a second and drove my car into a ditch. And like instead of like getting awfully angry mad at me, he took care of it, said I was glad it was okay, and hugged me and like gave me a big hug. Like, there's levels to this, right? And then I think about, say, my blood father's dad, my grandfather, you know, he's kind of like at the middle ground. Like, you know, he very much was like more hands off in a lot of ways, and he was more of like my grandmother's husband, but he like they still all call him dad, and he still put a little bit like he still put effort in, like, and a good man, and I respect him for that. Also, it was a different time, and like the expectations of dads was different back then, so I don't really put that much, I don't think on him. And then I think about my former coworker. This kid is like 20, and like this poor kid, she lost her mom and her dad, and she's currently like living with her late mom's, like, her stepdad. But like, it was very clear that like her stepdad was just her mom's spouse, and it's like there's a constant tension about the fact that she's still living there despite the fact that the stepdad has a new wife and a new family. So I think it really does depend. Now, that being said, like, the grandfather, by the way, has like, we don't know if, the grandfather wasn't in contact with the stepmom. Like, the stepmom just went through probably one of the most traumatic events, or most traumatic event of her entire life. She watched the love of her life get shot dead in front of her. I don't know about you, but I don't think I would be equipped in that moment to take care of a 6-year-old and have the emotional capacity to comfort a 6-year-old after dealing with that. This is a case where it's like, this might take a village, right? Like the grandfather's coming in, to grab the kid and give them some level of like love and stability and emotional support that maybe the woman who just saw her wife get murdered is not capable of doing in that moment. Now, very well, this could be a case where this woman in this video could be right. Like, the grandfather could be taking the kid, and like it is another example of the Trump administration's dehumanization of the LGBTQ community and all of that stuff. I'm not saying that's a possibility, but what I am saying is there's a lot of nuance here. This is a huge tragedy, and this is the type of tragedy that requires like the village to come together and be supportive. And this 6-year-old kid, his life just got fucking awful. And, if anything, I'm happy at the prospect of there being multiple members of this family coming together to make this awful tragedy in transition easier. So I don't know. There are a lot of moving parts here. There's the dynamic between, the late wife, the stepmom, and the kid to consider. There is the prospect of the stepmom's mental health and like what she needs. There is the, also, you know, people have, uh, do documents and stuff saying, hey, when I die, my kid's going to such and such or such and such because they can better take care of him. Because, like, again, also, on top of having her wife shot in front of her and having to deal with that, half her income just left. And so now, like, this poor woman is going to have to, like, downsize everything on top of a 6-year-old kid. It would make sense, especially to, like, go live with grandparents who have like boomer wealth. It's just, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a case where, like, the kid moves with them, the stepmom eventually, like, after like getting affairs and orders here, like, moves back, or probably what's also likely is that the grandparents move to Minneapolis to make the kid's life transition a little easier. Like, I don't know. I think that us, like, this video and like speculating on this, and like hell, even this video that I'm talking about speculating on this is like, there are so many moving parts to this that I feel like making assumptions on how this is going of what's about to happen here is rough. And again, I do want to reiterate one last time. I'm not discounting this woman's analysis of the situation. She could be 110% right about this, and I wouldn't fight it, because like every point she made is 100% correct. I'm just saying is that, you know, someone who has grown up with in a split household, and you know, has dealt with tragedy, and you know, has had the village come together for warmth, like there's a lot of moving parts here that we just do not know about, and I just felt it was important to sort of talk about that. You know what I mean?
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to talk to me outside of this video, outside of live streams, or just join the community and be a part of it, you can do so at HIMediaTV/Discord. Discord links there. We'd love to have you. And given the financial situation of the economy right now, I know this is a tall ask, but if you have the scratch to spare, please consider donating and becoming a supporter at HIMedia.gg/tip. All of our perks are serviced through our Discord channel, including early access videos, exclusive videos, and more. Your generosity is a blessing, and $1 a month is a boon to my mental health. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you, and have a great day.
Quack.